brought to you by IWC Radio.com. It's the internet's most irreverent wrestling podcast. Now, please welcome Beans, Smoot, Chucks, and Will. This is the IWC.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the IWC Radio podcast here on YouTube and iTunes. It is I, Smoot, along with Beans, Chucks, and Will. Everybody's here this week. How are you guys doing?
All right.
You left me hanging there for a moment.
Expected someone else to jump in, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I screwed up on that one.
How are you, Smoot?
How are you? I'm okay.
Good.
I'm doing all right. It's been miserable here with the weather. It's been.
Have you had snow? We've had snow.
Yeah, it snowed like last week, and it's still been on the ground because it's been so cold. And this past Friday, it's gotten warm enough to melt some of it, but it's possible that we're gonna get some more on Sunday. So that's great. I really want spring to be here, pretty much. Give me spring.
Yeah, it was really cold here. We apparently have the coldest in 10 years or something.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
It seems like it's been a harsh winter, just for like everybody involved.
Yeah, we got what was being called the Beast from the East.
Not Brock Lesnar.
Not Brock
This
Lesnar.
time.
No. So yeah, shivering, cold, not nice.
Mm-hmm.
Bring on summer, that's what I say.
Ah, I like it though. It's a bit of snow. Who doesn't like a bit of snow?
It's good for about a day, but then you get bored of it.
It's mostly melted here now, looking outside, and
Yeah, that is.
there's a little bit left from the biggest piles, but it's mostly gone. And I went out today, so it's been snowing pretty heavy for 2 days. My work got called off on Thursday and Friday, so that was cool.
Really?
Yeah, got lucky. So it started coming down Thursday afternoon, and I go back out to the car today, first time in like 3 days, and it's so dirty. I don't know where all of the dirt came from, because it rains, it's not that dirty. The snow looks nice and clean. How is it so dirty?
It'll
People
be
have been splashing mud
the
up all over.
it'll be the wonderful wind that we got with it all, though, won't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. The dirt must have come from somewhere.
Because we were the same. Like, we had really bad snow drifts, and then it was nice and clean, like white snow everywhere. And then next minute, it was just like loads of like little. It looked like seeds in the snow, and it was just covered everywhere. And then when you looked, the tree nearby was nearly bald. And the gale force winds had just basically blown it around the whole area. But,
I don't know if the wind's been all that bad here.
Really?
We noticed anyway. Well, I mean, obviously it's been windy, but it's,
You're
Snow
not too
is-
far from Wales, are you?
No, well, unfortunately, no, we're not too far from that.
Yeah, because I think down the further south you got, the wind was less of an issue. We got quite bad up this
Right.
way.
Yeah, we got like Manchester, the crane in Manchester that had a weather sensor on it picked up gusts of 77 mile an hour.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
And the bins round here decided that they were going to go on an adventure and hit everyone's cars in the process.
Nice.
Any bin lids?
Oh god. Well, it
My
certainly
oven
wasn't
bottom is
bread.
still where I left.
We do not need to know about your oven bottom.
No.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I think it's just been a harsh winter.
it's been a long time since I've had a chance to do this, so
Hey! Well done.
Talk us through it. What have you got?
Pepsi Max Cherry.
Mhm.
It's not a beer like I planned.
It's a red cream off-brand soda. Right.
Red cream?
Yeah.
As opposed to what?
I
Yellow cream?
White cream, I guess.
I
What's
give
cream
it up.
usually?
I was going with a vague colour that American flavours probably would have. Vanilla cream?
Vanilla cream is just custard, isn't it?
I don't know.
So yeah, it would be yellow.
Yellow cream.
Well, I mean, cream is off-white, you know? Cream paint isn't white.
Every time you say white like that, I just keep thinking of Bob Ross.
White.
Titanium white.
I watched an episode of that like the other week,
Yeah.
and it's still amazing.
It is.
Did you guys see the Deadpool 2 trailer where he was doing a spoof of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't PG.
No, it's not PG at all. Anything else do you want to catch up on, Beans?
Well, I watched a rather good program the other day. No, I haven't got a clue. I was actually trying to think of something I watched then, but I was like, I've come up
Carabao Cup final I watched. I thought that was quite good.
I'm sure you did.
I did. And then the sequel on Thursday.
Never as good as the original.
It wasn't quite good. I mean, it's like the Bond films. You know where it's going. You know how it's all going to end up in it, but sometimes it's not quite as fun getting there.
Yeah, true. I'll tell you what I did watch. I watched a film called Ronin.
Ronin.
With Robert De Niro. And
Not 47 Ronin,
no.
because that was terrible, apparently.
No, this is Jean Reno, Robert De Niro, that Swedish actor that I could never say his name, Stellan Skarsgård.
Skarsgård! Wonderful!
Oh my god. Oh my
um,
god.
Sean Bean's in it. There's probably a few others that I'm forgetting, but yeah, really good film. I'd seen it years ago, but it's well renowned for its car chase sequence.
That's quite an old film, isn't
98 it
98?
was.
it?
Yeah.
Is Sean Bean any relation?
He was the one villain from GoldenEye, right? Sean Bean.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
He was Alex
For England,
Trevelyan.
James. For England.
Oh, for me.
Sorry, I just thought I'd add the sound effect seeing as we were going through the script.
Sure. Yeah, so Elimination Chamber happened last week. We'll be discussing that in here in just a few moments. There's also some things related to that in the Raw recap as well as SmackDown as well. But for right now, let's get into the prediction game, I guess. Assuming
Let's do it. I
you have the
don't
papers.
have them.
Oh,
No, because I wasn't here last week.
that
I was on assignment.
That's
right.
So
Yeah,
I
what were you-
don't know what you guys did.
What were you doing? You got to play this one off the monitor then, I guess.
Yeah, I will. You have to throw up the thing, and then I'll
Right,
try and
right.
bust my way through it.
Start rattling your computer.
Yeah.
It would, but it might actually fall apart.
I don't know if you can hear that.
Oh my god, what the
There.
hell was that?
There, that's me rattling the computer.
That sounds like you just took another year off its life.
Maybe. There we go. There we are. So yeah, heading into this, Beans, you had 67 points. I had 54. Chuck still has the lead at 69, and Will had 64 heading into this. I guess we'll just get right into it here. The pre-show of Gallows and Anderson and the Miztourage happened, and Gallows and Anderson won. It was a randomly thrown together match. It happened. It was done. And yeah, Gallows and Anderson won the match, which is a point for Beans, myself, and Chucks. Will went with the Miztourage for some strange reason, and
Why did you go with the Miztourage?
there you
I
go.
don't know. No idea.
Any
That's weird.
did any of you see this match or anything like that?
Yeah. I can't
Seen it.
remember it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember it either.
I watched it and I honestly can't remember anything that happened.
I'm still trying to figure out why I picked the Mr. F.
I think we had the same reaction. At the
Seriously?
time.
Why? Around Glue last week or something?
I'll have to go back and see why you picked the Miztourage after the stream. Ed says, Ed's just joined us in the chat asking, okay, so what happens now for the club now that they won the pre-show match? I think they're just going to keep calling people nerds. Or, nerd!
Oh,
I think that,
It's a
probably.
pretty good one.
Thank you.
Good, that's it. Hold on.
Thank you.
am I the only one that gets really irritated when they do that?
No.
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 Okay. Just wanted to check.
Alright, moving on. Yeah, that's just, yeah. I think that's all that can be said. Moving on, let's go to... Gosh, what was next here? I think Asuka and Nia Jax was... I'm just going to go down the line, perhaps.
No, it was
No?
it was Alexa. It was the women's chamber opened the show.
Yeah,
Oh, right. The Women's Chamber, excuse me. Pardon me, I forgot about that. That was, that was at the very beginning, which I think kind of caught some people off guard. Yeah, so it was the six-way between Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Mickie James, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, and Sasha. I remembered that without having any sort of help there. And Alexa retained, miraculously. The odds were against her favor, and she won.
Because Bailey and Sasha are idiots. As, like, everyone is stupid. In these, they don't seem to understand that every man or every woman for themselves doesn't mean you have to fight each other all the time. If you have a mutual enemy, you can beat them and then do the thing that you're about to do now with no risk.
Yeah,
I just like it
Do you know
because they're
what?
stupid.
They're
You know what?
stupid.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, apparently you're a WWE babyface.
Strange that. I'm very good friends with Bailey.
And supposedly that was like supposed to be like the heel turn. I guess between
I
Sasha
don't know.
and I don't know either.
Yeah, they played it off as the heel turn because she did the big grin when she did it, like I
Yeah.
just murdered you.
Yeah.
And then on Raw, they just kind of like, let's just take this a step back again.
Yeah.
Let's just make them tag team partners and let them just stare at each other a little bit.
And have Bayley leave Sasha high and dry.
Yeah.
Which again, it seems like it's going somewhere, but it's probably gonna go nowhere. Perhaps, maybe even just a random match at WrestleMania. Perhaps
Pre-show.
pre-show. There you go. Yeah. There's your
Is
pre-show.
it really bad that I can imagine Sasha and Bailey being on the pre-show?
No. I think a lot of people would agree with that. But yeah, no. Alexa managed to retain, so that's a point all around for everybody.
Credit to her for doing the Twisted Bliss off the top of the
Yeah,
pop, though.
That was pretty good for the first ever women's Elimination Chamber match. It was surprisingly pretty well done.
Yeah,
I thought. So, and it wasn't marred by stupid, stuff like James Ellsworth or anything like that. So, congrats to them. Now what was next?
What was next now
after
was the tag title match. The bar and
okay.
Titus Worldwide.
Yeah, where I picked Titus Worldwide because they've been getting some sleeper wins off of the bar, but that was not the
And
case.
she was
here.
also drunk.
I was
You're on the same stuff I was on.
no. No, I was under the impression that they were gonna win it because they've been kind of getting some sneaky victories on Raw, and I thought, why not have them actually win it? It's the tail end of Black History Month. I mean, come on.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh, you're not wrong, I guess.
Yeah. Apollo lost his last name to a school shooter. Come on. Throw him a bone.
Did?
Throw him a bone.
Yeah, Apollo, can you come into the office, please? We're sorry to tell you that we're taking your name off you, but you will be winning the title at the pay-per-view.
There
which
you
you
go.
might change our mind about at the last
Still take
second.
that.
Yeah.
And then we'll make you have another match the following night where you'll get battered again. Seriously.
I remember this being like a hard-hitting match. Other than that,
know how much of this I saw. I might have
Yeah.
been making Jack's bottle when this was on.
all right. Anybody else?
Sorry.
Anybody else want to contribute?
I'm the same. I can't remember this one, to be honest.
Do you know
I was doing
when you were saying about Black History Month, when you put things like that, I almost feel like WWE makes the effort to like make sure it includes the like black people from the roster, which also in turn kind of like makes them feel a little bit racist.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think Black
yeah.
History Month is racist. Or at least it's maintaining a divide that surely we're trying to get rid of. If you segregate Black History out into its own month, isn't that kind of, well, ironic at the very least?
A little bit, perhaps.
Sorry, it's Women's
I don't
History
know.
Month, this one.
Yeah. Go from Black Guy Month to Women's Month.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, yeah, and today's probably like I don't know, cigar day.
Cigar Day.
I don't know, like every day is like you look on Twitter, every day is some
Yeah, it's like-
day for something.
Yeah, it's like national.
Every day is a day. Every day is
Bubblegum
Rusev
Day.
Day.
That's
Yeah.
true.
No, it's definitely Rusev Day.
That is also true. Moving on. There's these like long pauses every time I take a sip. Sorry. What was next? It was at the Hardy Wyatt match.
It was Asuka
Oh, okay.
beating Nia Jax.
Yes.
Asuka.
Yeah, yes. Yes.
Sorry.
Surprisingly, she maintained her undefeated streak and the women's. No, she doesn't have the women's championship, does she? No, she's going after the women's championship. Right,
Yeah.
right. Where she'll
Also,
probably
did
win
you
that
say
too.
surprisingly she retained?
Some
Oh,
people were kind of thinking that Nia was going to get the upper hand on her.
Were they on the same thing you were when you picked Titus Worldwide?
I think I distinctly recalled Mike Killam on Twitter saying that he was a little bit nervous about the streak there for Asuka. I think.
Yeah, he was definitely on the same stuff as you and Will last week.
My God.
Yeah.
Today, by the way, is Hina Matsuri, or Girls' Day in Japan. It's Liberation Day in Bulgaria, Martyrs' Day in Malawi, Mother's Day
Oh,
in
God,
Georgia,
so it's not
Sportsman's
bad
Day in Egypt, Teachers' Day in Lebanon, and World Wildlife Day.
Okay.
WWD.
WWD.
Those pandas are coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. They actually are, apparently. I think it was pandas. They're not actually endangered anymore, but
We saved
threatened or
them.
whatever the next one up is.
We saved him.
Yeah.
It says if
See,
Nia...
that's all because we changed the name of WWE.
There you go.
It is.
If Nia was winning, it was a count out or a disqualification, says Ed in the chat. I mean, yeah, but that's kind of like a cheap way to do it, to like end the streak. Then it would just morph into the person who hasn't been pinned or submitted.
Yeah, but
From
they
there
do have a
on.
habit of doing that as well.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think there was any chance of Asuka losing this one. But they did
would've
this
been
thing as
really
well
bad
where,
timing.
you know, WWE feel like they need to make Nia still stand out at the end, so she has to beat her up after the match.
Yeah, because like,
And-
she was trying to get into the WrestleMania match. It had she won, and now it just seems like they don't know what to do with her.
Well, this is the thing. It's like WWE do the 50-50 booking going into pay-per-views, but then also when it gets to WrestleMania season, they think, oh no, we need to make sure that everyone looks strong. So in all the results of this, like, even the losers had to look good by beating people up afterwards.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And
I think...
Unless you're Titus Worldwide, you know, the one that Smooth picked.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can lose.
That was the other thing. Now that you mentioned that, making them look strong and whatnot. They kept getting shots of people walking up the ramp if they were losing or had been eliminated from, you know, the chamber match or just stuff like that. Like, it was predominantly noticeable. Like, they even had like a double feature when Bayley was eliminated of her just walking up the ramp casually.
I think that was supposed to sell the fact that she was heartbroken over a friend booting her off a pod.
I don't know about that.
We're all supposed to be devastated that Sasha turned her back on her best friend.
I mean, this should have happened ages ago.
You're evil, you Smoot.
Okay, sure, I'm evil. Why not?
Why not?
Well, you'll definitely be voting for Kane.
If that's if that's what it takes to become evil, then yeah, I'll stand by it.
On the Nia thing, I think it's what do you do with someone who you want to do something with before you want to do it. If you know what I mean. If they've got plans for WrestleMania, all right, okay, let's work backwards and say that she is going to have the title match against Alexa Bliss.
Right.
Which means you can't put her in the chamber because that's already a title match and she has to lose. Yeah. So you put her in the only other match there is, or you do nothing. In which case, you know, she either loses to Asuka or she's just not there at all. And I guess this way, at least she's got something. But she still has to lose. So I think that's probably where they're going, just on that logic, that she had to be there. She had to look strong at the end, like you say, beating her up after the match. There has to be something going on.
Ed's bringing up my point here that I was about to bring up. Do you think she's going to somehow find a way into that WrestleMania match, or just a match at WrestleMania, like John Cena, or just not be there at all?
I think no road. I think she's going to have the Alexa Bliss title match. I think Asuka's going to challenge Charlotte. And everyone else goes into
that's the
whoever
other thing.
The female Andre the Giant Battle Royal is going to be.
Wait, oh my God.
China Battle Royal.
Oh my Jesus. Is that really going to be a thing?
It could be.
Oh,
we don't know
God.
yet, but it could be. It wouldn't be China. It would probably be like Moolah or something. Who hasn't had... Because Mae Young's had the thing named after her, so it's got to be Moolah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is something of note. Everybody's assuming Asuka's going after Alexa. She hasn't actually formally made a choice yet.
Yeah.
She hasn't announced, I choose you, Pikachu, for a match at WrestleMania. Or anything like that.
It did sound like you were going that way.
Yeah.
I choose you.
It's
true. That's why I think there's going to be a little swerve in there. It's gonna
that could be the way to do it. Maybe have Alexa versus Nia as like a potential title match because Asuka picks Charlotte.
Yeah.
And then maybe Nia wins the title, and then you have Asuka versus Nia or something, or something like that. I guess I don't know.
If you were to do Asuka versus Alexa, then what do you do on SmackDown?
Yeah, that's a good point.
No?
There's
really not a lot there.
I mean, you have Charlotte, but she's practically... I think... I would hate it if it's like...
she's beating Ruby Riott at this next pay-per-view.
Yeah. I would hate it if it's like a continuation of that at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely on board with the whole Asuka grabs
Becky
a mic.
Lynch.
Yeah, that's something.
I mean, she's probably next in line to get the title. I don't know if it would be at this WrestleMania. I mean, if you were to do it, yeah. It says put Charlotte and James Ellsworth at Mania. No.
Charlotte, James. It
And
just
you
seems
know
like
that Vince would be so tempted to make James Ellsworth win.
Yeah.
there are 4 women that they're obviously protecting, the 4 favorites right now, and there has to be some combination of those. So I just think that's the way that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
If you were to do Charlotte versus Becky, then what happens with Nia?
Mm.
Because Nia's definitely further up the pecking order than Becky is right now.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
is there a chance that, you know, all this thing between Rousey and Steph?
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a chance that Steph at last minute would substitute herself out of the match and put Nia in her place?
No. No. There's no rivalry between Nia and Rousey. And I also think it would do Nia no favors going up, considering she's being billed as the irresistible force.
Oh, wouldn't she ever? Pushing that one.
Yeah, and I just having her lose to Ronda Rousey, I don't know. Steph's more likely to take the loss on that.
No, I agree. I just, just thinking when Steph logistically thinks about the fact that she's going to be in a match with Ronda Rousey.
Well, it'll be mixed tag.
Yeah, I know, but even so, we know, like you said, it's all built around Rousey, so she's got to get the fall for the win.
That's true. And in the terrible mixed tag rules, it does mean that they will be in the ring together at some point. There's no hiding from that bit.
Unless she just makes Triple H tap out and breaks his arm.
Well, then she'll be disqualified for working with the guy.
Could be after the match.
And then that's when Steph then wins by disqualification, and she runs around for the next year bragging that she beat Ronda Rousey.
On her debut, yeah.
We'll get into a little bit more of that a little bit later.
We will. We've got one more match to go.
Yeah, the Hardy Wyatt match.
Oh,
Here.
2 more matches to go.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, okay.
Yeah, so this match happened. And I think it started off with... what happened? Hardy grabbed the mic and just basically was playing mind games with Wyatt, trying to...
I like the mind games.
Yeah.
I thought this was good.
Wyatt was looking underneath the ring. He was looking through the Gatorades and such. Which, opened the door for Hardy getting the early game ambush onto him, and eventually won the match. Fans weren't too happy. I think this was the match where the beach balls kind of broke out.
Yeah, just said in the chat, Hardy and Wyatt versus the beach ball.
Which, honestly, they should have capitalized more of that on. They should have, considering how absurd the 2 characters are, they should have, grabbed one of the beach balls and Hardy could have just been delightful, and deleted it or something like that,
I was going to say, it wouldn't have put it past Matt Hardy to actually grab hold of the ball and start making some nonsense up about it.
Right, yeah.
How it was a prophecy or something, and then he would have ended up getting beach balls over at WrestleMania. There would have been 70,000 beach balls thrown at him.
Sadly, that didn't happen, and Hardy was just in a chin lock for about 5 minutes of the match, or what seemed like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Highlight obviously was when Wyatt did his kind of upside down leaning back thing in the corner, and Matt just laughed at him.
Yeah. So somehow
why is that scary anyway? I never really understood that.
Oh man!
Well, can I ask a question about Matt Hardy?
It's a fat guy being flexible. I'm scared.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it, man. Sorry.
Why does Matt Hardy's top teeth appear so white in comparison to his bottom teeth?
They are really white.
Like, he's got like veneers on his top, but thought,
Probably
nah,
has.
just don't do anything on the bottom. He just looks really odd. There's such a stark, like, contrast between the two sets.
But you never see his bottom teeth, or very rarely see his bottom teeth.
Well, when you do,
You can tell the difference. It's true.
yeah, hugely.
Ed says Hardy was singing the obsolete song. They're teasing
Yeah,
all
he
the elements of the Impact Wrestling angle so much. They are. They definitely
I
are.
hope so.
Hardy at Mania could be like Terry Funk calling for the chairs, but instead 70,000 beach balls will be thrown into the ring.
Could you see Vince like working his way out into the ring, like batting them out of the air, like going nuts? No, these are banned.
But
Damn
isn't
you,
that a thing?
idiots.
Haven't they actually banned them?
Apparently,
Yeah.
yeah, they have. Yeah. So no beach balls at WrestleMania.
And just
Wink.
imagine if the
I mean,
WWE
come on,
could
yeah,
have sold,
right.
WWE could have sold beach balls with Matt Hardy's goofy face on it.
Yeah, missed merch opportunity is the beach
Yep.
balls. Like, you can have these, but don't toss them around during matches.
Yeah.
Don't have fun with them.
Well, that's like most of the merch, to be honest. You know, here's a commemorative chair, but don't jump in the ring and smash someone with it.
Okay,
Pretty much.
pretty much.
And then the main event, the men's Elimination Chamber match, where Braun Strowman did all the work, eliminating everybody except for Roman Reigns, who nailed him with like a couple of spears. And is going to WrestleMania. Oh, man.
Surprise!
Oh man, who saw that coming? Everybody
Yeah,
but Will.
no one. And
Everybody.
you.
I mean, to be fair, I did.
Not in the prediction contest, but right
Yeah.
up until the prediction contest.
I needed the point. Okay, I wanted
Yeah.
it to be Strowman, but for the game, I went with Reigns.
And this is another one where he had to beat Reigns up after the match. They've obviously got something planned for him, but
Mm.
they just have him lose.
I mean, it was ridiculous, the fact that Strowman took about 15 finishes in this match.
Right, and this is another one where the faces were all idiots. Could have worked together, but just chose not to instead.
Yeah.
They had him beat.
That's saying something considering Cena was involved.
Do you know, I never thought of it like that.
We having deja vu again?
I just like, I was so despondent watching this match, watching Strowman like murder everyone, because I was just like, oh, this guy just needs to win and he isn't.
Dave
It just-
Meltzer said that apparently WWE wants to keep Strowman open for the WWE title match in case something goes wrong
Just in
with
case.
with Lesnar and Reigns, saying, quote, I don't know if they are going to go with Strowman and Reigns with Brock Lesnar, but if something happens with Lesnar, obviously Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman is the only match that you could put on in that spot. If something happens with Reigns, then something still could. Strowman is also the other guy you could put in that spot as well.
Yeah. So there's this whole thing about not Ricardo Rodriguez. What is it? Was it Richard Rodriguez, the guy that's in prison, the
That's
drug
right,
guy?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So he thinks that he sold drugs or steroids or something to Reigns. Reigns says he never met him, but it looks like he might have met him.
What?
And, yeah, this is a thing.
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
So this guy's in prison right now, and he has apparently sold lots of stuff to Mark Wahlberg, the guy that was on Raw this week. What was
Yeah.
that guy's name?
Josh Duhamel.
Yeah.
Josh Duhamel.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was one of them too. And Roman Reigns, he's like a guy that he mentioned by name. He said about 10 wrestlers or something, but Reigns is the one that he named.
Yeah.
And Reigns is quite a while ago now. It's been going on a little while. Said that he's never met the guy. And the guy is saying that he's got records of having sold stuff to Reigns. Like right before he got suspended for that failed test.
Jeez.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So there you go. Those are the points, I believe. Beans, you have 73. You're in second place currently. Chucks is in the lead with 75. I haven't broken 60 yet, believe it or not. I'm at 59, and Will is at 68, still in the hunt.
So, WrestleMania is like the last prediction one for the season, isn't it?
Yes.
That's right.
Yes, that is
So I've
correct.
got 2 pay-per-views to try and make up 2 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that.
6 months ago, I thought I was like really comfortable.
I know, I've slowly chipped away on that one.
You really have.
I was like dead bottom by like 3 points as I'm at one point.
Yeah.
You were. So I'm just looking back through here. I was on 40, Smoot on 36, Will on 34, Beans 35. Yeah. 30, 27, 24, 21. You were 9 behind there. Yeah. That was after what, 2, 3, 4. I don't know what that would be. 46, 5 pay-per-views.
It's not like
Yeah,
that.
you've done pretty well since you've not been here.
It's all Jack's doing. Just been asking who he thought I'd win. He just made noises.
That's cheating. You're disqualified.
Yeah.
There's no proof.
You've got a psychic baby. It's not fair.
Strangely enough, he did like cry when Roman Reigns won that time.
Yeah, the guy knows.
I'm already proud of him.
Yeah, so let's discuss a little bit here about
No, you had the Ronda Rousey thing, didn't you?
yeah, the Rousey thing. Which that happened on Raw where they had this contract signing at the pay-per-view, which it seemed like Ronda didn't know her lines. She seemed really nervous. Like really nervous, and then Kurt Angle bumbled through his promo and got the wrong WrestleMania's reference.
Other than that, though, other than saying 22 instead of 32,
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
he was pretty good.
No, it was 21, and he should have
21,
said
31. Right, okay.
But was he actually supposed to say the word bitch?
No,
He
I think he was supposed to
said
tease it.
about as much of the word as he could have said.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not being funny. I don't think there was much left for him to say.
We finally got the big. Whoa!
Like when Triple H actually shut him down, it sounded legit like it was like fucking hell, Kurt. You're just supposed to go, "Buh."
But then, when you say a word and someone cuts you, you kind of say the word, right? It's such a TV thing to get cut off and then we have the bit. No, you would say the word.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I agree. I just the whole thing was corny. I thought the entire segment was just kind of a waste of time, just to sign a piece of paper.
It just didn't make sense to me why Kurt would do what he did.
Exactly. That was
It was just like so out of there, and it was like, okay, like he obviously is aware that there's going to be comeuppance from this in character terms, and then like on the Raw the night afterwards, and he's like, I really need this job. Why did you fucking open your mouth then?
right.
I think he was trying to save her, wasn't he? He was saying, "Don't sign it,"
But she did.
but then she did, and really now he's screwed.
And then he said it was the best decision you'll ever make.
Right, because now he has to. Now what he was trying to do has failed, and he's now got to try and grovel to keep his job.
I think there could have been easier ways of doing this.
Mm,
He needs the job. He's got kids.
he has, it's true.
Did anyone else laugh when he made the comment that he had double pneumonia and he's not been feeling well for weeks? And I thought, oh, so that explains all the reasons why he can't talk.
Yeah, right.
Have you had it for about 6 months?
And then on Raw, what was it? Ronda Rousey having like some sort of like some kind of a promo. I don't remember what they billed it as. But
Well, she was great because, like you said, on the pay-per-view, she was really shy and seemed to be overwhelmed by being a fan in the ring or whatever. Then by the end, she had a great mean face.
Yeah.
Although when she threw Triple H through the table, that was great.
Yeah.
Terminator.
When she yeah, when she stepped down, that was awesome. Like, she was really good at flipping the switch. And then on Raw, I think she carried that through. She looked like suddenly she belonged there. So I don't know if she was just playing up the whole nerves thing or what.
No, I've got to be honest. I sorry to see on the stream the punch.
That's brilliant. That.
Oh damn it!
I think there's an even better one. I'm gonna have to do some digging here.
But the thing that I was like, obviously Rousey was really like nervous in how she came out at first, and she started the promo, and I think we were all kind of like, "Oh no, this is like the worst fear that, you know, she's obviously going to be this major competitor." But when she gets on a microphone, she was just talking as you would normally. She wasn't projecting a voice. She wasn't timing it in a promo way. She was just literally talking. And when she... Oh, God, what else has he shared now?
Oh my God, that's even better.
Oh, yeah, that's the one that I've seen, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. So... Look at the state of it. Do you know what really got me about Triple H punching him, though?
What?
Was how quick he got the hell out of that ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what did he expect Kurt to, like, all of a sudden suplex him? Like, what?
Probably. He knows Kurt. He's wrestled Kurt a lot over the years.
That's true.
Oh, it just looked... I mean, I know he's playing, like, the heel, but he just, like, the way that he ran out of there was just like, as he run off, and it was like, what the hell? And it made no sense.
Yeah.
What's the purpose? What, I punched you because you said all them things?
Yeah.
We're even now.
Yeah.
Isn't that abuse at work? What's all that thing about not being able to punch employees?
That's
No physical contact between management and all that form.
Oh my God. That's perfect. That is perfect.
That pretty much sums it up.
Oh my God.
Edge just said in the chat, question, is double pneumonia actually a thing? Well, pneumonia is fluid in the lungs, isn't it?
So if it was in both lungs, then yeah, I guess.
So, possibly. I don't know.
I'm not a doctor.
I don't know if it's fluid. Isn't that the
I
demons
might be
fluid
getting
around the
mixed up.
lungs?
I might be getting mixed up.
Inflammation. So I don't know. I guess it just means in both lungs. Yeah. I don't know if you double.
I'm not sure how that would make you act the way Kurt did, like, but you know.
Also, shouldn't you be resting if you had double pneumonia?
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
It was a good thing that WWE forced him to work all them shows whilst he wasn't well.
Yeah.
But no, the thing I was going to say is I was quite happy that the crowd got behind Ronda on the pay-per-view. I know that she got some boos, but when she started doing a promo and she was just talking and she started saying about how much it meant to her and stuff, you know, I was quite happy that the crowd, like some of the crowd, a small portion, started chanting for her and stuff, and I thought, well, at least she's getting the encouragement rather than it just being, you know, let's just shit all over her because she's falling like on her face here.
Her power walk could use some work.
And when she also mentioned about Rowdy Piper, I think that like got fans on her side. So, but yeah, I agree on the Raw. She seemed, like you said, she just seemed like she belonged. Because she was worried, like, she grabbed hold of the microphone again. It was like, oh no, here we go. What's it going to be like? By the end of, like, the second sentence of what she said, you thought, wow, like, yeah, she seems to have got it.
Yeah, she got it. For sure.
Maybe she is going to be like Kurt and be like one of these really fast learners and then become, like, completely... I'm hoping not to see her in a cowboy hat and 18 months singing.
Or in a TNA
little child's
ring.
cowboy hat.
Or in a TNA ring.
showing everyone a sheriff's badge.
Yeah.
Whoa, wait, oh, wait, what?
Pardon?
That's,
What?
ooh.
That's not PG.
Wow.
I would like for you to take your minds out of the gutter.
I'd like you to stop putting them there.
Did Kurt Angle not show off his sheriff's badge to everyone?
Stop saying it.
Is this a thing?
Yeah, you need to spend more time on Urban Dictionary.
I really did not know that was a thing, but obviously I've gathered that it is a thing.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Wow.
Be good.
I'm not sure if I should be Googling this.
What else happened on Raw? As you Google that. Yeah, so Cena, this was the other thing I kind of wanted to address on. Apparently Cena teased the crowd with a dream match with The Undertaker, only to not fulfill it, I guess. Because he mentioned, how about I face The Undertaker? And everybody was like, yeah, and cheering for him, which is a rarity these days. But he was like, well, it ain't happening. I don't make the matches. And then he showed up on SmackDown and then asked management for a match, which he kind of weaseled his way into the Fastlane main event for. Where if he wins, well, because, you know, they booked him in a match against AJ Styles. If he won, which he did, he would be then inserted into the Fatal 5-Way match at Fastlane, which if he wins that, then he has like a match at WrestleMania against Nakamura, which if he enters WrestleMania, he would be a 17-time champion. Which I know me and Ed have discussed, which I don't see a 17-time coronation ceremony happening at a pay-per-view like Fastlane. And he said the same thing as well. In fact, I think he said it first, and I kind of sided with him on that. I don't know how you guys feel.
I'm just horrified after looking at Urban Dictionary.
Oh my god!
I had absolutely no idea that was a thing.
You do now. Congrats.
I retract all previous statements. I've also resigned from this show. Again, yes. So, I don't see Cena becoming the 17-time champ at Fastlane.
No, I think that would be a bit of a swerve. To have two matches so obviously set up, you know, have Cena talk about Undertaker so much, have Nakamura specifically challenge AJ, to then just shake that up now and have Cena Nakamura, and then AJ left to do something else.
It's that thing, isn't it? It just being so predictable that they're just trying to put a curveball out there, I think, just to try and make people think that there's a possibility things could change.
I think it's just the storyline is that Cena's got all of these chances and he's failing every one of them. It's just another one in the line of, you know, since the Rumble, he's then had qualifications for the Chamber and whatever else.
Yeah.
And they're just not going his way. Now this one won't either, and then what?
Yeah, I was going to say, if he doesn't win this match at Fastlane, then does the match with The Undertaker then happen?
Why not? And then, unfortunately, in WWE's way, that's his perfect comeback, is to beat The Undertaker.
Yeah.
But he said on Raw that that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
If he doesn't win the title, then he has to work with, like, Mojo Rawley or something.
No, he's not even at that level.
I would love it if there was like a promo where he's like begging for a match in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
I just laugh.
Everyone else, all of the other jobbers on the show just announce that they're in it, and see, I've got no way to get onto this card.
Right? Like,
please let me.
I have like a couple of scenarios where I imagine like he loses at Fastlane and then he appears on Raw and he's just like sat in like the backstage area doing an interview, and he's like, I just don't have anything left. I don't know what I can do now. And then the camera pans to the side, and you see Mojo sitting in the corner of the dressing room, just going, "Choo choo, Playboy."
Oh God.
Then
the other one
on the internet though, if everyone's wanted this AJ Nakamura match, and if Cena's the one to stop it from happening.
Yeah, fair point.
Or if he comes out on the SmackDown and he says, "I have a way of making this match even bigger. You put me in the match."
Just go. No, you're okay, John. See ya.
And then Daniel Bryan in his like heelish ways goes, "That's a great idea." The other one is I can see like when John loses and then he doesn't get the Taker match and he has nothing left, that he just like begs Vince to come out and put him in the Hall of Fame, so at least he's got something to do.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Apparently, speaking of the Undertaker, he did an appearance at a rally for Kane because of the whole mayor campaigning that he's been doing, and Mike Johnson apparently relayed some information saying that Undertaker did a signing in Knox County, Tennessee, to help out with Kane. Apparently, they're close. Some fans asked about
Of course,
him.
they are the brothers.
Yeah, Brothers of Destruction, of course. There's some fans that asked him about returning, and while he could have very well been working them, he kind of gave the impression of, don't hold your breath, don't wait for that one, but we'll see. In
He's
fact,
not going to say, "Yeah, I'll see you on Monday," is he?
Yeah, I think he's more likely to, kind of keep things under wraps rather than just telling him, "Hell yeah, I'm going to be there."
Yeah.
Which, here's a photo provided by the person at TN Revolver, which I guess is short for Tennessee. There we go. There's two of them. Looks like they're doing getting ready to do a podcast and a signing. Like they just need like a microphone here. I feel.
Has he really named himself Revolver?
TN Revolver on Twitter.
Oh, dear.
That's somebody else. Yeah. That's the person that took the photo.
I'm sorry, I'm just a bit concerned with all the things in America right now, and someone's Twitter handle is the name of a weapon.
Okay.
No, it just means that he spins around.
Oh, right. Sorry, I was
He's
thinking
on an
Revolver
office
like
chair or
handgun.
something. And he's no. He just likes spinning in his office chair.
All right, well, fair enough. Spin away. I do apologize.
I'm gonna try to create a microphone here.
What?
Create a microphone.
Yeah, on stream.
I'm
here.
sorry, that doesn't look like a microphone.
Hold on. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna just make a little
Yeah.
make a little bit of a stand. Put a little doohickeys right here.
Holy cow.
And I guess we can do some
And then
headphones.
just the balls down
It
there.
looks like Undertaker's ready for his last ride.
There you go. They're podcasting now.
What the
Congrats.
hell are you doing to Kane?
Those are headphones. Those
The
are
big red headphones.
Yeah.
She's got
There you go.
Wow.
Apparently, somebody linked me to this. I think it was you, Chuck. This photo with what was it with the Brock Lesnar guy, and they look
Brock Lesnar guy
yeah.
who actually owns a second T-shirt apparently.
Apparently, yeah, and they look so enthusiastic to be behind
Yeah,
him.
Taker's thrilled to have him there.
He's got the #1 fan of the dude that beat his streak standing right next to him. They look so fucking amused.
Oh, Jesus.
I wish I could see him. You again.
I was going to say, this Glenn Jacobs sign behind, do you not think it would have been a good idea to put the text above them
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
rather than everyone stand in front of it?
Yeah, that's you could have obviously put GLE
Oh,
well,
no. He's drawing again.
and
Oh, God. You know when I said that you were on something last week?
yeah.
Yeah. You're on something this week.
There we go.
Oh,
don't really. I
no.
don't think I
You're
can.
gonna run out.
You're going out of
Are
space.
you doing this via mouse? Because you're doing
Yes.
quite well.
Yes, I am.
If I had have wrote that on like with my mouse pointer, that
There you go.
would not have said Glenn Jacobs. What's that in the middle?
The flame, the little
You're
flame.
Canadian now.
That's supposed to be the little flame.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, it's
Yeah.
a sheriff's badge.
Okay, sure, yeah, that too.
What?
Sure.
Anyway, Ed said in the chat, what do you guys think of the Rey Mysterio and Cena WrestleMania rumor?
I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, no. I would say almost a 0% chance of that happening.
Yeah, there's some talk that that's actually being put out as a bit of a smokescreen for the Taker situation.
Do you know what would have been better as a
great
smoke
job.
screen for The Undertaker?
Anything else?
Would be for not to have John Cena come out on Raw and say that he wants to challenge The Undertaker.
But he can't. Because he doesn't make the
But
matches.
I've been told that's impossible.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
is it impossible, John?
Who told it was impossible?
Exactly, he didn't delve into that, did he? He just,
It's just
I've been informed that that's impossible. Why?
they
Because
want
he's
us
dead.
to think. This is all of the things that they think they have to do to make us believe that it's not happening. One, that there's another plan. Two, to have Cena ask for it and say, but it's not happening. Oh, well, if he's asked for it and it's not happening, well, he wouldn't say that unless it's not happening. Like, really?
Can I just say as well, when he actually did say that on Raw, how fucking pantomime did he sound?
Mm.
Mm.
Undertaker!
I mean, he knows how prestigious he is.
If you want us
Yeah,
to
but
think
it
that
sounds
it's not happening, announce another match for Cena.
Yeah.
So yeah, he is. He's actually. This is on the card now. We've got some graphics. He's challenging Mysterio. He's challenging Mojo Rawley. This is happening. And then if you want
Oh
Taker
my
to show up,
God.
and then
know
you can
what?
change it at the last minute and have Taker like injure Mojo and say, "No, you're wrestling me." Whenever
No,
you're ready to make that announcement.
For all the hate that I've had in the past for Mojo Rawley's character, I would pay lots of money to watch Mojo Rawley have to face John Cena at WrestleMania.
Really? I wouldn't.
Really?
I wouldn't either.
I would
I
just
saw
to
somebody-
see Cena's face.
I saw somebody on Twitter say that it could just be, them acknowledging that they know about the dream match, but they're not going to pay it off, and instead are just going to have like another Cena Orton match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Which holy shit!
How many WrestleMania matches have
Too
they
many.
actually had, though?
Too many.
The two of them together.
They haven't had one, have they?
Just the one. Yeah, they did a triple threat with Triple H.
Yeah, but that's not like
24.
one-on-one, is it?
Well, no, but that's the only time they've had a match together.
Well, there you go, then. It's never happened. The
Yeah,
first
that
time
match has
ever.
never happened.
Oh,
You know they could do it.
it's
Two
a match.
massive careers, two different shows.
A match
Well,
that's
last time
never
I did that
happened
one.
before.
Best.
They did try to
Never.
say it was one of the biggest feuds in history, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
A rivalry renewed.
I honestly would put more stock of that happening than Cena Mysterio,
Mm.
Yeah,
in my
because
opinion.
really Orton hasn't got anything either.
No, that's the thing.
Triple threat.
What, Rude and bloody Jinder?
No. Mysterio, Cena, and Orton.
Oh,
Oh, like WrestleMania 22, only with Cena and Angle spot.
Yeah.
We don't need that anymore. The Eddie's in Hell storyline.
Oh, God.
Eddie's still in hell.
oh my god.
Don't do this again.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems weird that if you're gonna tease the idea and there's no payoff to it, that why acknowledge it in the first place? I am kind of with you on that.
It's this thing, though, with wrestling. The only time that I can think of where someone has actually made a hint at a match and it never happened was when Hulk Hogan came out on Raw and said that he wanted to face Steve Austin.
Oh yeah,
And Austin wasn't aware he was going to say that,
yeah.
and he was really
Yeah.
pissed about it. Every other
Like-
time that someone's even made a hint at a match, like how Cena did with Undertaker, it's always happened.
Yeah.
Well, Vince hates kind of making a promise or a suggestion that he can't follow through with. That's why he's never really done anything with, Taker and Sting or any of that kind of thing. But there was one with Austin and Punk. They kind of did a few things that looked like it could be going somewhere, and it never happened.
That's true.
Yeah, but they never hinted, verbally on a microphone about a match.
No, they just kind of
just did that
was
build up
something
for the
there.
video game.
Yeah, I think it was just on the video game,
Yeah.
And also the Daniel Bryan and Shawn Michaels singing that Hell in a Cell that time where Shawn super kicked Bryan. And it was just like, what the... how the hell are you not having a match after that?
That's true, yeah.
But again, that wasn't like a verbal thing of mentioning that as a possibility of a match.
No, I just think he threw this one out because they think that if they don't acknowledge it, then we're just going to think it's going to happen even more. So to kind of shut it down and make us forget about it, they're going to say, yep, this is a thing, but no, it's not going to happen. I'm going to go and follow other options. But I don't think anyone's buying it. There's nothing they can do, really, to get it out of our minds now.
Yeah.
It's like one of them things. It's like, what's the match quality going to be like?
Yeah, I don't even really want to see it, to be honest. It's a dream match and all that, but...
no, but for me, it's a dream match
it's
5 years ago.
To sleep.
Yeah, no, Chuck's is kind of right in that. I think it's a little bit late for a Cena-Taker scenario. If Taker was a bit younger, this could have been a match that people would have been more inclined to see. I certainly didn't want to see Cena break the streak, but at least the drama would have been there,
Yeah. I mean, I know we spoke about it a bit last week, but it was like you're saying, around WrestleMania 30 time, before the Lesnar thing came up, it was right for Cena and Undertaker, because you were thinking, what big thing are they going to do at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Cena was on the highest of the highs, and you're thinking...
Taker had those 4 straight pretty good. I wasn't a huge fan of the Triple H matches, but he had the 2 with Shawn, 2 with Triple H.
Yeah,
all of a very high quality.
He had the one with Punk the year before, which was the best one of that match of the card. And it's like, and there was Edge as
well. He was on like a good streak, so to speak, of having the match of the night. So that kind of was the time, and it was the Lesnar match that really killed that.
Yeah, because I remember at the time thinking, God, do you know what the atmosphere is going to be like? Because every time that you watched the Undertaker match at WrestleMania prior to 30, you got involved in the matches because he always managed to make one part of the match where you believed it could end.
Yeah.
But it obviously never did. And I said, well, look at Cena. If you put Cena in that scenario, do you really think that WWE won't make Cena beat him? Because at that moment, at that point in that time of his career, you didn't get anyone get over Cena, really.
Yeah.
So that would have been the jeopardy in the match for the streak, because you genuine people would have believed it could have ended, and would it been 30? But like you said, they just went with the Lesnar thing, and they ended up doing the streak ending, but obviously no one expected it the way it did. But
speaking of Lesnar, apparently he no-showed, allegedly, at Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns conducted some kind of like a promo, making it look like he was quote unquote shooting and such on the fact that he wasn't there and all this stuff, and that he was going to get his ass chewed out backstage and whatnot.
I was just going to say, could that not have been a network feature, watching Reigns get his ass chewed out by management?
Yeah. Which honestly, I thought the promo that The Miz did earlier in the night, where he was complaining of about how he's like the A+ player. He doesn't have any merch and all this stuff, and he's underutilized and such. I thought that was a much more believable quote unquote shoot interview promo thing than the one.
How many of them type of promos has Miz had though now?
Yeah, it's quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they're always good, and they always have an element of truth in them. But
yeah, plus he lost twice, so I mean, how much can you really believe him?
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the best promos Reigns has ever done.
A lot of people thought that.
No, Will's falling for it. No, that's what they want you to feel.
But he also kind of he touched on the same stuff that he did with Cena.
Yeah, I got that sense, yeah.
So,
but it's better than going on about tater tots and all that bullshit.
Low bar.
I was just going to say, Reigns, if you heard this now and just go, for God's sake, just one thing I said.
That was one time. I mean, it was 30 times, but it was one time.
Looks like you're just smuggling some tater tots.
Nice of you to do an impression of Sam Roberts, sir.
Oh, God. What's the hap, guys?
There you go.
Anyway, what else happened on Raw? Oh, yeah, Bray Wyatt still wants to go after Matt Hardy for some reason, because that feud's not dead yet.
Are you gonna get like the Hardy compound? You're gonna get like the Hardy compound thing at Mania or something, aren't you?
You kind of have to at this point. You can't just have like another simple, straightforward match like you did at the Chamber. Like, there's got to be some kind of wacky, over the top shtick. That
Jeff is about ready to come back too, so he could be involved somehow.
Yeah, that's true. Have it at the compound. Have Maxwell, Rebby, Senior Benjamin, have them all involved in some way. Like, you gotta do. Oh, you guys still with me?
Yep.
Sorry about that. The OBS dropped, disconnected there for a split second.
Yeah, I think my YouTube feed dropped out for a second. Then.
Yeah, there we go. I think it's back up though. Sorry about that.
There is, just on the Matt Hardy thing, there's an article on WWE.com where he gets interviewed and he's talking about the ultimate deletion is coming.
Oh, the ultimate deletion.
Man. Oh, man.
So,
yeah, I'm gonna.
Something's afoot.
Ed said, "Do you trust WWE to make the ultimate deletion work after the House of Horrors?"
No.
I know that as soon as them words came out of my mouth, Smooch, just thinking about that fridge.
Yeah.
It's got to be better than that. And anything's better than that.
I wouldn't trust WWE to do it, but if it's true that Matt's got more control over this stuff now, then could be
Borash.
something. And Borash is around, yeah.
Yeah, I would trust the ideas of Borash, Hardy, anybody that isn't WWE that was around when the whole broken gimmick was initially started in Impact. So I'm totally, I'm on board with that. If it is, them having full control. What else?
Who would you throw into the lake of not rejuvenation? What's the lake called?
Restoration?
Restoration. There you go.
I think it was, yeah.
What WWE character or gimmick would you throw in there? Just for the lulls at WrestleMania.
And restore them back to like their prior self. Lake of Reincarnation.
Lake of Reincarnation.
Yeah, thank
you.
You
You could have like the New Day going in there, and then suddenly Kofi is Jamaican again, like that kind of thing.
They did that with that time machine, though.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. They did.
Knowing WWE, they'd probably throw Thingy in and he'd come out as the Red Rooster.
Terry Taylor.
Yeah, there we go. I couldn't think of his name then.
Just for that joke. Terry Taylor's the first time we've seen you in 30 years. Into the lake you go.
You could throw Undertaker in there and he'd come out on his bike.
Then throw him in again and he comes out as the death
He starts wearing purple. Ed just said put Kane in the Lake of Reincarnation, he'll come back as a fake Diesel.
Yeah.
Isaac Yankem.
And then if he came out as Isaac Yankem, he could make a comment about Matt's teeth.
Very well.
Put Zack Ryder in there. He comes out as one of the Major Brothers.
Major Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Kurt Hawkins too.
Yeah. Make him win a
both
match.
Round.
Yeah.
Throw in Rusev and he comes out exactly the same, only he's got a first name.
You could do
Alexander
that
or
with quite a
something.
few guys.
You really
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
have Cesaro go in there.
Yeah, put Apollo in there and get
Apollo.
get his last name back. Yeah.
No,
Speaking of,
just make sure he doesn't have any registered weapons.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil lost to Sheamus and Cesaro on Raw for the tag titles in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Good.
And they lost it 2 straight
Yeah,
again, didn't
2-0,
they?
yeah.
I think it's done now.
Yeah.
I think that whole thing is done.
Good.
Who do you think they?
Until they come back next week for the next one.
Who do you think Cesaro and Sheamus are going to go after next? I guess for the tag titles, because like they kind of bragged that there's like nobody left for them to challenge. And
Did someone tweet saying that there wasn't anything left? Was it the Revival or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Saying
so
that
it's
you've
the
never faced
Revivals.
us.
Yeah.
Not really a face team though. I can't think of who else other than them, but
Yeah.
kind of it.
And then you had Strowman and Elias, where Elias won, or no, he lost via disqualification because he brought out a fire extinguisher, and he kind of just clown shoes Strowman for a bit, and then they traveled to the back, and then there was this limit that pulled up, and we never got to see who came out of it.
Probably
yeah.
Triple H and Steph.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, but they didn't do the tease because you
They didn't
was
have the foot
expecting
come
it.
out of it. No.
Yeah.
They always
It's
show the
dangerous.
shoe.
Dangerous if you just have a shot where you see the shoe.
Yeah.
Might mean it's about to explode, especially if
Yeah.
it goes out and comes back in again. I'm gonna get in this limo, and then I'm gonna stick
No,
my
but-
foot out, and then boom. Was anyone else really annoyed that Braun Strowman just turned his attention to Elias on Raw? Why would he? You just murdered Roman Reigns after that match.
I mean, because he wasn't finished with them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's still not.
Yeah, but you're heading into WrestleMania. You don't have any pay-per-views left, and you're beating up Elias.
Yeah, I'm kind of afraid they
Like,
might have a
I'm
no DQ match at WrestleMania.
I'm all the way like fan for Elias and everything, but Braun Strowman should not be his opponent.
No, yeah, no, absolutely not, absolutely not.
Well, again, I guess they're just kind of leaving him open. They don't want to book him into anything that they can't go back on.
Does any of us
Okay.
believe about the Lesnar thing with the no-show?
I
Oh, do
believe
we-
the Reigns thing more.
The drug thing?
Well, if it's going to be one of them that can't make it, I think it's more likely to be Reigns. I think Lesnar's fine. It's going to be his last show, last at the moment, unless he resigns. So I think he's going to be the one. He's got no reason not to do.
Did the Roman thing happen after Raw?
No, it's been going on for a little while.
Yeah, it's been sort of in the background for a couple of months though.
Yeah,
Well, they seem to be still going with it. If they were cautious, if they was worried about it, surely they wouldn't be putting him in the spot.
Well, that it's ongoing, but there isn't anything concrete yet.
Mm.
So there's no reason to take him out yet. But if they do have to, then Strowman's there.
I would so love to see Strowman and Lesnar. And I know that they faced each other at Great Balls of Fire, but that was just a match made to make Lesnar look good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Considering
If you put him in,
Strowman's hand was on the rope for that submission in that corner still.
It's true. It just
No
didn't
rope.
feel like that one was done.
No.
they just kept flirting with him in the main event, and he's just, when you think how long Strowman been on, it's been like, 18 months since he went on the Raw roster and was doing this character.
This character, I suppose it was the brand split, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was just
So
after
nearly,
32.
yeah.
So for
Mhm.
18
Yeah, he
months, Braun Strowman has apparently been this unstoppable monster, and he's not even won a title yet.
That's why you should have had him win it in the chamber. Putting that out there.
Well, they had penciled him in to work Miz, didn't they?
Oh
He's
god.
going to win the IC title at Mania.
That would,
Ed said in the chat as well, what do you think this year's Mania ladder match will be?
SmackDown. I think SmackDown's getting it. Rude with like Orton and Jinder and Ziggler and Corbin, maybe someone else.
For the United
There's a
States
lot of
title?
guys there that don't have anything to do.
For the United States title, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
That's my guess.
I'm sure. I'd be all for it. I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't one this year. But if there is a match, I would point my finger at that, I guess. Quick look at SmackDown, and then I guess we can get out of here. We talked about the John Cena fiasco and him trying to get a match at Fastlane and such. Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn had a match where Corbin won, and Kevin Owens was on commentary, and he got attacked by Dolph Ziggler with a super kick to the back of the head, which, you know, if you're looking at on the monitor, shouldn't you be able to see that coming, in a way? It's some kind of a fashion.
Yeah.
There's also...
It was pretty vicious looking, though.
Yeah, it was very sudden.
I'm always a bit worried when it comes to doing moves like that to the back of people's heads when they're not exactly sure when the impact's coming.
Yeah, that's true. There was one spot in the match. In fact, it's had a couple of spots in the match where they kept cutting away to Bryan looking on the TV in the back, and then Shane came up and was criticizing him about it. You know, about putting, you know, these guys into the same match again week after week and week after week, and then Bryan, I think afterwards, said he wanted to see his child, so he just left. He just left.
Yeah, what the hell was this?
Why was Shane eating popcorn?
I was just going to say, why did Shane suddenly have an addiction to popcorn that he was eating in every segment?
And they had the line of the night, though, when he said, "Do you want some popcorn?" Bryan said, "No." And Shane says, "Understandable." What? Why is that understandable?
Because he's vegan? I don't know.
Vegan? Popcorn is vegan?
It is.
He's now.
Yeah, I love that.
Also, what are they doing with Daniel Bryan? Like, what is this? Where, like, when he brought up his daughter as well, like
Oh,
he
buddy.
made it sound like they lived outside the arena. He's like, "Oh, I want to go home and see like my family." And he's like, "Oh yeah, go, like, you know, say hi from me and stuff." And I'm like, I'm not being funny. If he left, he has to go to an airport, catch a flight, go home. Like, he might as well have just stayed for the last 45 minutes of the show for the difference it made.
Why has everyone always got other things to do during the 2 hours a week that you need to do your job? Why has someone always got like a meeting, or everyone's always on their phone, important business calls? You've got a 2 hour window where you have to be on SmackDown.
No, yeah, the whole thing about everyone being on a phone.
I'll call you back.
Either on a phone, watching a TV. Just, yeah.
I was just going to say, is it a particular brand of popcorn that they were just trying to, like, shoehorn in here?
Not even that, no.
I think it's just the arena popcorn. That's it.
Yeah.
That's why it was in a box. And then he had Ruby Riott defeating Naomi. Again, kind of building tension against the Riott Squad versus Charlotte's group of her, Becky, and Charlotte, obviously, or Naomi as well. Usos and New Day had a great promo, actually. I just now remembered this. And then the Bludgeon Brothers came out.
Big E got serious.
Yeah, it was great. Like, they were both spitting fire, as the kids say. And
throwing shade. Do they say
shade?
that now?
That's also
Yeah.
yeah.
A thing.
And
How
then
can you throw shade and fire?
you're a wizard,
Right? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you're just a wizard. And then the Bludgeon Brothers came out and kind of they kind of seem like the third wheel a little bit now when they appeared.
We've got this really natural rivalry between two teams that have fought really hard to get into this position, and we can believe this story about them really wanting their opportunity at WrestleMania because one hasn't ever had a WrestleMania match, and the other ones were the host of a previous WrestleMania. Oh, and then the 1985 WWE Tag Team gimmick comes out with the hammers.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean, you're absolutely right. Like,
Bludgeon Brothers going to WrestleMania.
yeah. I mean, I was all for, like, Usos versus the Bludgeon Brothers, but now after that promo, I kind of want to see them take, like, a back seat because we've seen Usos and New Day go at it before, and they can tear the house down.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That's both tag divisions just seem like what do you do with either of them? There's no obvious feud. There's no big thing.
well, if you
It's
had
kind of
to
like
use-
that thing again. Do you know, if you were doing a change with the brand split, I'd be really tempted to like throw tag team wrestling on one brand and move the women's division to one brand.
Yeah. I can see the argument for that. I just think if you were to do that, merging any of the rosters, you'd lose so much from the lower half of the. Because they like 2 to 4 names in any division. And
Yeah.
anyone below that, even if it's someone good like Becky Lynch, just no hope.
Yeah.
And you could kind of understand it if you were in the old days where you had like, you 1 hour show a week or a 2 hour show a week. Well, in SmackDown it is 2 hours, but you've got so many hours of TV and you can't manage to fit people on. It baffles me.
Yeah, I mean, WrestleMania is going to be 4 hours, like it has been for quite some time,
more.
and then or more.
Add a 0 to the end of that.
But how many times have we seen like a match at WrestleMania get cut because they don't have time for it? You know?
Yeah, the first episode of Total Divas dealt with that exact issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which almost makes you feel like it was part of the plan.
Right.
Although it was very weird because that was WrestleMania 29, weren't it? Because
Something like that,
that
yeah.
was when it was Rock and Cena in the main event again, and they didn't even like do the video package before the match. They literally just like hit the entrances and they just came out really quick.
Yeah.
Triple H went long.
WrestleMania will be so long that Beans' Jack will be in middle school by the end of the show.
I have no idea what middle school is, but yeah, maybe.
It's after.
Yeah, how old are you at middle school? We don't have
Uh,
elementary either. What kind of age range is middle?
Shit, I think maybe around
25 to 40?
No, I think like around 11 or 12. I believe.
Bart and Lisa are in elementary, and he's 10, so it's got to be older than that.
Well, they could be in like the 5th grade.
So middle school is like the equivalent of our secondary school.
Yeah, sure.
I guess. Guess so.
Yeah, I think so.
And then high school is what? College after 16, isn't it?
Something like that.
Because they graduate high school at 18, and we all have to lose our virginity before graduation. That's the plot of every film ever,
Yeah.
including Casablanca and
Oh my god.
every film that I watch anyway. Every film since American Pie.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. That's both shows covered. A lot of surprisingly some stuff happened this week in the world of wrestling. So, is there anything else you guys want to add on? before we
Yeah,
go
of
here?
course.
for it.
There's one thing that you will be remiss not to mention.
Uh-oh.
The Mixed Match Challenge.
Oh, I haven't been tuning in for.
We're up to the finals now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And my
Oh, man.
prediction for Connor's Cure to win
Shocker.
come true.
Shocker.
Strowman and Alexa have been eliminated by Miz and Asuka
What?
in the semi-finals.
What?
And second
Hang on a
champ
minute, it's
Shinsuke.
Connor's Cure?
Yeah.
What?
You know the Mixed Match Challenge? How long have you been gone for?
Yeah.
What's the mixed match? No, I understand that. I'm presuming that that's the charity that they've picked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were-
Alexa
Right, I was a
and
bit
Strowman.
worried that that was actually their tag team name.
Oh, yeah, okay. That would be...
Just
Introducing
because I know
Connor's
that
Cure.
Alexa and... Just because I know that Braun and Alexa were called Team Little Big or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were a little big. Rose gold.
So who is Connor's Cure, the tag team.
Connor's Cure was Alexa and Strowman. And then Sasha Banks and Finn Balor were Team Special Olympics.
Oh my god. You can't prefix it like that.
So no, we're down to Miz and Asuka and Bobby Roode, Charlotte Flair. So Raw versus SmackDown final.
And what charities are they for?
Yeah.
So Miz and Asuka are supporting Rescue Dogs Rock. And Roode and Charlotte are Girl Up.
Right.
So I kind of think Girl Up is going to win in Women's Month. I don't know when Rescue Dog Month is, but it's not fun.
Sorry, I had to scoot my chair for something. Keep going, sorry. In case you were wondering what that noise was, sorry. Had to move my chair.
I'm not aware of either charity. I'm quite surprised that they're the ones that have kind of made it this far.
Yeah, me too.
Connor's Cure.
Connor's Cure and Coleman and all the favorites.
Yeah. So whoever's charity wins gets like the 100,000, right?
Something like that, yeah. Although if you were to have Miz and Asuka beat Roode and Charlotte, that would set up the Asuka Charlotte match.
I think that would be its own microcosm thing.
I'm going to say, are they not just going to have to make Miz and Asuka win it just because of Asuka's winning streak?
Yeah.
Well, they could have Roode beat Miz.
Yeah, I know, but she's still lost, hasn't she?
No, she's lost loads of tag matches.
Has she?
In NXT, she's lost a few.
I mean, as long as she doesn't take like the pinfall, because then I don't think they would want people just point like, "Oh man, she's undefeated except for that one time on Mixed Match Challenge way back in the day."
I'm sorry, I'm still absolutely dumbfounded that you've just told me that she's lost loads of tag matches on NXT.
Well, not loads, but it's been a few. She lost a Battle Royal as well.
How am I supposed to believe this? Well, I've been thinking that she's the Empress of Tomorrow, and she lost yesterday.
I can't argue that.
I can't believe her anymore.
Ed says 5,000 people on Facebook Live witnessing history that Asuka took a pin or a submission. Oh god, I liked the concept of the interactivity, but I feel like it needs to not be on Facebook. That's
it
pretty
is
much
actually put on. They've not like really played it up, but they do put it onto the network a few days later, don't they?
Have they?
Do they?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen it on the network.
I mean, that's probably a decent spot for it, as an archive. I would trust that more than Facebook as like an archival tool. But at the same time, you should be able to just have that on your own networking platform and such, rather than having people log into their Facebook page to watch one match for a half hour.
Yeah, it's actually the Facebook feed isn't available to anyone outside the US. So
yeah, great plan.
Well, it's not a huge deal, really.
It's not, no.
Of all the things to get upset about.
I mean, it's a good idea. It's just it needs to be executed a little bit better.
If they were moving something important, if they're moving SmackDown to Facebook, then sure, that's stupid. But if there's the medium is there, the Facebook video is there, and they made something specifically for that, it doesn't impact anything else. It's just their content, extra content for that thing. So
true. Yeah.
Do what you're gonna do.
Which, quick note that Raw may be going back to 2 hours if they go to Fox Sports, possibly.
It would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. The NBC Universal contract is up in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not unlikely that WWE, would jump ship. I mean, they've done it before when they went to TNN, Spike TV, and all that.
That was a long time ago.
Yes, it was. So, Ed says,
how would WWE play that up?
Going back to 2 hours, I don't know. Actually, that's a very good point.
Because, like, how many times in the past, like, when they used to do 3-hour Raw specials, did they, like, really beef it up? Like, you're getting more, another hour. Like, if they all of a sudden went to 2, it almost is like, yeah. we're giving you an hour less. Just everyone inside would be like, yay! But...
yeah, I would love it. They could give us another hour somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh,
Say,
no.
now the first hour of Raw is going to be
On YouTube.
something on the network. Yeah, or on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or on Facebook.
I've got this image that, like, Raw would go to Fox and they would drop it down to 2 hours, but then SmackDown would stay on USA and that would become 3 hours.
Oh, no. No. Come on.
And they call it Smack Double Down.
Oh. That'd be awful. Ed says if WWE goes to Fox, I doubt it would be Fox Sports, not enough viewership, and doubt they would do Raw and SmackDown as well. Yeah, because they would have to give up 2 nights of primetime viewing for that, unless they do it on like Fox Sports 1, which is a different channel or something like that, which isn't necessarily all available in the U.S. markets and such. So it'd be interesting to see how with Beans. I kind of want it to happen just to see how it would play out, you know. So
I want whatever's going to cut out that hour.
Yeah.
But USA loves WWE, don't they?
Yeah. So I would assume they would go for the renewal then, if they like it so much.
How I always thought back in the day, like when Raw used to be an hour and then it went to 2 hours. Like I never like remember anything about that on WWE like TV in the UK for that, because I remember watching the show that was the first 2-hour one, and was thinking like, there's only about 5 minutes left in this show, and they've not even got to the main event yet.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, this is on for another hour.
And that's the other thing.
That just kind of became standard. So I didn't know whether in America that was different and they just edited it different for the UK, because we got it like 4 or 5 days later at that point.
That's the other thing Ed's bringing up is, in the fall, what with the Major League Baseball stuff, where does WWE go? If they have like a primetime baseball game that they got to get in, they're not going to cut away just because Monday Night Raw's coming on.
Oh man, it's like the dog shows all over again.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I don't have the image on hand at the moment, but yeah.
The dog shows?
Yeah.
You don't remember this?
Back in the day, they used to preempt Raw because of the Westminster dog shows.
What?
Yeah. Do I not have it?
I'm confused and.
I gotta have it here. Pre-printed. I can't find it.
So when you say Westminster dog shows,
yes,
is that something that happens in America?
Yes.
I was just confused with the term Westminster.
We have a Westminster as well.
Thinking that it might be something to do with us, and we started affecting something to do with wrestling.
Americans just love our dog shows so much.
I was thinking, what English dog show takes place at 1 a.m?
Yeah, that too.
But yeah, I have not heard this at all, so it's all news to me. How long have I been gone?
During like the Attitude Era too. That was
wow,
when wrestling was actually important.
Yeah, I remember that, because it used to when it was actually on, you'd get like a message on the screen telling people to turn over to find the dog show.
Yeah.
Well, that was on Sky as well, even though we couldn't watch it.
Well, I seem to remember something coming up on the bottom, like a tag thing on the bottom, like what do they call it, crawler thing.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it being about a dog show.
Well,
I think Smoot's rapidly trying to find something in
Yeah,
his
here we
ear.
go. There we go.
Oh, he's got it.
There we go. So instead of that, it would be baseball, I guess, if they happen to move to Fox. Theoretically.
What the hell?
Theoretically. So.
Wow.
It's just looks like that's a match being set up for next week.
Right?
We got white fluffy doggo versus evil black doggo.
You know Michael Cole's licking his lips going, the big dog!
But yeah.
This others, and then AJ could come out and say that he's what was it they called him? The Rottweiler or something stupid.
AJ was the Pitbull.
Pitbull, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've all been called dogs in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's it for the show this week. Unless there's anything else you guys want to add.
No, I'm quite happy. I've learned something new.
Yeah. You've learned a lot.
I've learned a hell of a lot thanks to Urban Dictionary and you guys.
Yeah, share Spanish and whatnot. That's gonna be it for us. We'll be back next week, hopefully. When's Fastlane? Like 2 weeks from now? Three weeks from now?
Yeah, I don't think it's next weekend. It's weekend afterwards, I think.
Yeah, so it's coming around the corner. I think they still need some time to get some other matches.
March 11th is next week.
No.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, because he said last week 2 weeks time, so that makes sense.
Oh, well, at least this is going to be like the end of this like weird ass pacing of these pay-per-view shows because they're going to be cross-branded now. After Mania.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think this whole Mania thing's just not really took off, and we're all just kind of waiting to get pay-per-views out of the way. So that Raw and SmackDown after this Fastlane, hopefully,
will be eventful. End of an era.
It's kind of feel like that though, doesn't it? We're just waiting to get some other stuff out of the way before we can really start.
Yeah, waiting to get to the Fastlane.
Or really get on the road.
Yeah, into the Fastlane.
End of an era.
Yeah.
That's what Ed's just said in the chat.
If only. I didn't even think it was next week. Yeah, so we'll be doing the prediction show for Fastlane, I guess, next week.
Yeah.
So we'll recap everything that comes up this Monday and Tuesday on next week's show, and look ahead to Fastlane, and hopefully you can join us. Check us out on Twitter at the IWC Radio. Use the hashtag IWC Radio to send in any questions and whatnot, and we may read them on air. We also stream every week on YouTube, and the shows get posted relatively quickly after we're done broadcasting live. And it's also on iTunes. Check us out there. Give us 5 stars. Let us know if we're good, bad, otherwise, and everything. And we will see you guys next week. Take care. Good night.
Bye.